Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to all devotees.
Dandavat pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. I was in the process of correcting the translation of a book which is translated by His Holiness Swami Maharaj into English, and now they are trying to bring it into Tamil version. So there's a lot of effort going on. So the proof comes to me for some corrections. So it doesn't take much time, but still it requires the concentration. I was just in the middle of that, and I forgot that time is already 7. So 6 to 7, no, that's our time. Okay. So let me start this session now. So let us have Mangalacharan prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I have great pleasure to welcome devotees back for continuation of Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrt. Amazing pastimes are unfolding, and more will come because we are now in the final decade of Srila Prabhupada's pastimes on this planet Earth. And the two, we have already reached 71. So 77 is his departure. So barely 6 years left. So much is happening, and it doesn't look like Prabhupada is going to leave anytime soon. Nobody who sees the frenetic activity that is going on, completely motivated and spearheaded by Srila Prabhupada, no one would ever think that there is barely any time left for the departure of Srila Prabhupada. For a devotee, age doesn't matter at all, because a devotee has already overcome the bodily consciousness. So devotee is already living in the spirit, and the spirit never dies. So in that sense, only from our perspective, age is catching up, death is nearing, all these things are purely material consciousness. But it doesn't apply to a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada who has come to the planet Earth on a mission. But having said that, we should not think that, oh, he is sent by the Lord and he has come from spiritual world. So actually, all his the challenges that he is facing, all the troubles he is facing, these are all only a drama. Srila Prabhupada is not experiencing any of it. If he think like that, that would be a big mistake. It's not like that. As the drama unfolds, the player becomes one with it. The actor becomes one with it. So whatever we are saying, Srila Prabhupada experiencing, he is experiencing them. My Guru Maharaj always says that in this world, pain is inevitable. Pain is inevitable. But suffering is optional. We can have a whole class on this. But I leave it to all of you to meditate on this. We are in this material world. We are in a material body and material mind. Pain is inevitable. But suffering is still optional, which we see from the lives of many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. How the pain did not touch them at all. The body was raking in pain, but the suffering never touched them. They were smiling, they were laughing, they were joking, they were shedding tears of joy, they were preaching. They were showing compassion to those people who were suffering by seeing their body. The people around them, they suffer by seeing the emaciated body of the Guru, which is suffering so much. But the Guru is compassionately, he's saying some nice words to the devotees, saying, don't worry about it. This will happen. This has to happen. But we are not the body. We are a spirit soul, like that. They give solace to their devotees and those who really love them. So now we are seeing Prabhupada goes to London. So just before going to London, I think one slide we must go back. Did we complete the Florida visit? Anyone can recollect? Prabhupada went to Florida. He gave initiation to 5 devotees in the middle of the night.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji. That we covered, Prabhuji.
Covered, Prabhuji.
Okay. So now from there, Prabhupada goes to London. Someone can enlighten me. How far is London from Florida? Is Florida on the east coast of US?
Prabhuji, Florida is in the US.
In the US, which coast?
That I'm not aware.
Because I'm just thinking from Florida, did Prabhupada fly to London without touching down anywhere? That's what I'm just, I'm not very clear. If he's going from the west coast, then maybe there would have been a stopover somewhere, but no stopover is mentioned here. So I am guessing that Florida could be on the east coast of the US. And from there, just crossing the ocean, Prabhupada must have gone to to London. Anyway, so Prabhupada reaches London and immediately Prabhupada falls sick. The weather in London is so bad. There is no sunshine. Prabhupada is writing to Tamal Krishna. Almost always there is darkness and rain. One time, some reporters asked Srila Prabhupada, how is London? Prabhupada said, London is hell. He told it in London to a white reporter. He said, how do you like London? Prabhupada said, London is hell. Then Prabhupada further explained it. There is no sun. It is always dark. The sky is always gray. And there is always like weeping, there is drizzling. In India, there is always bright sunshine. And he said, London is hell. Next day, the newspapers ran a headline. Swamiji calls London hell. So Prabhupada is having health problems. Prabhupada needs sun to, it is a sun which is energizing his body. His body is already collapsing. Prabhupada is somehow keeping the body and soul alive. And sunshine is a great help for that. Prabhupada goes for early morning walks, takes the sunshine. He sits in the sun, takes a body massage. All these things too. And we already read, one time Prabhupada was in California and Prabhupada was recuperating. And after going for a morning walk and having an oil massage and having a nice bath, some energy will come to Prabhupada's body. And immediately Prabhupada will sit up in his bed and he will start preaching. After half an hour of vigorous preaching, he will collapse in the bed. And the devotees saw with their own eyes how the Guru uses every ounce of energy for serving Krishna. And after that last ounce is spent, he will collapse into the bed. Again, until the energy is back, he will be like that. And once little energy he gets, and again he will start preaching. So this is what a role model a Guru sets for the disciples. So we have to pick up at least a little bit of that. Because this is learning, this is teaching. Prabhupada, not only his words, his life is a preaching. So we have to learn these things. So Prabhupada said he wanted to retire from traveling and management. Prabhupada would again and again say this. I don't want to be saddled with management. And why should I be traveling so much? I have now so many devotees. You take sannyas, you travel all over the world and you preach. And I have an important mission. I have to translate so many books. The whole of Bhagavatam, 18,000 shlokas. Then Chaitanya Charitamritham is there. And there are so many other Vaishnava Acharya's books which I have to translate for posterity. I have to give contemporary purports to all these books. Otherwise, people will say, these are all mythology. Correct? The whole world is saying Ramayana, Mahabharata, Vedas, all mythology. Because there are no contemporary purports to those literatures. And we are all such fallen souls. Manda, Sumanda Madayo, Manda Bhagya, Upadratha. Souls of Kali Yuga are so unfortunate. So we need that contemporary purpose to make them relevant to modern times. And Prabhupada had that mission. So Prabhupada is saying, please free me. And Prabhupada would say also, the body is old. The body is old, and giving a warning. But he still did not have sufficient confidence that his managers could push on without him pushing them. Prabhupada is pushing the leaders, and the leaders are pushing the movement forward. So Prabhupada called his secretary, Shyam Sundar. By now you are familiar with Shyam Sundar. Is Kalikamar Ghosh Prabhu here? He's here. Kalikamar
Yes,
Ghosh,
Prabhuji. Huh?
we that day saw Malati Mataji, right?
Yes. I heard your lecture. Unfortunately, I was absent that day. My village program was there.
Okay, yeah. Amazing. Actually, I would like you to speak a few words about what you are doing there. I want all the participants to hear that. And please post those videos, whatever you had sent to me personally, please post them in the group so it will inspire everyone. I felt tremendously inspired by what you are doing there in your village, moving away from Jamshedpur and totally dedicating yourself for the upliftment of the local villages by giving them Krishna consciousness. Actually, they are all Vaishnavas, but they don't know what is Vaishnavism. They don't know much about Mahaprabhu. You said they are just having a little kirtan in the houses in the evening. But apart from that, they don't know anything. And when you teach them these things, they are saying, oh, how come we also have gurus? And they never taught these things. All these things are so new to us. And we are so fortunate we are hearing these things. So, and you sent video of Nagar Sankirtan, how people are mainly ladies walking on the
Yes.
streets. There are also men, of course, but they're all walking on the streets, chanting Hare Krishna and feeling so joyful. And I saw your house, quite a big house, I think, and filled with people.
Yes.
Not an inch is vacant, filled with devotees. I don't know how you achieved this
Yes.
miracle.
Even in staircase also people,
I
some
saw,
people
yes.
yes.
They're all like, like they are like in the altar, in many steps we keep deities, like that they are all sitting.
Yes.
I think you really created waves in your village.
Prabhuji, all by your blessings, Prabhuji. I'm
I was,
really thankful. You turned my life.
uh, more than that, I was so happy that you have maintained a spirit of humility. Without that, nothing is really worthwhile. Nothing, all the achievements are meaningless if there is no humility. And I saw that is very much you have taken the spirit and you are calling the seniors and you are giving the credit to the seniors and you are taking their advice and you are accepting a very low menial position in serving them so that no part of the credit will touch you, no drop of that pride will touch you. That is actually the ultimate test of Krishna's mercy on us. If a little bit of pride happens, if I feel, oh, if I am not there, what would have happened? Only because of me, all these people are receiving the Lord's mercy. If that even a drop will touch us, then everything becomes, poison. It will not last for a long time. So I was so thrilled to hear the pastimes from you, and at the same time, you have protected yourself by cloaking yourself in humility. That is absolutely wonderful. So please put those videos or photos in our group so that everybody will be able to appreciate. So that day, as we were meeting, Ghosh Prabhu and me, and Malti Mataji was just coming. So I showed him, see, this is Malti Mataji, the wife of Shyam Sundar Prabhu, who were instrumental in setting up the San Francisco temple. The first Rath Yatra, the deities were made by Shyam Sundar Prabhu. And after making the deities, he became very sick and had to be admitted in the hospital. So on the day of inauguration, he was not present. He worked so hard, day and night, day and night. And in one of those days, Prabhupada saw him. Prabhupada just came to inspect what's going on. Huge deities using a small, tiny model he was making. And he saw one cigarette packet, an opened cigarette packet, lying on the head of Jagannath or Baldev. Prabhupada didn't say anything. Prabhupada just saw, pointed his cane towards that and said, would you allow something like this to come between you and Krishna? That was the end of it. He threw that packet away, along with whatever stock he had. That was the last time he smoked. Look at this powerful influence devotees have on a receptive heart. A receptive heart is what we need. Then miracles can happen. Directly a pure devotee will touch that heart, and then transformation will happen. So that was Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Malti Mataji. There are so many amazing stories of these people, what they did. Shyam Sundar Prabhu has written a book called Chasing the Rhino. I think there are multiple volumes of that. I have only one volume, Chasing the Rhino. Amazing book. So let us get inspired. So Prabhupada's Lilamrt is basically an inspiration for all of us. And now, book marathon. Today we are having a meeting at 8 o'clock, planning how we are going to do it. Of course, I do very little. For a long time, I have not been active on the book distribution, but this time at least we really want to do something. Because even one book distributed, it's not the effect, it is the effort which counts. So we have to make our whole effort. Even the whole day, only one book went. Still, it is a matter for great happiness. We all know that Sukriti slowly piles up. So you give Sukriti to people by going out and showing the books to them, making them touch the book, turn the book, speaking to them a few words. That's all. That's enough. Your job is done. The Lord is keeping count of Sukriti. Somebody touched Bhagavad Gita. Somebody heard the name of Srila Prabhupada. Somebody heard about Krishna. All those ads. And someday they will buy a book. And someday they will become a devotee. So this way it goes on. So we should not always think in terms of results. A whole day I stood in the hot sun. Nobody bought a book. Oh, it's not working. So we should not do that. So anyway, continuing the story. Prabhupada was talking to Shyam Sundar. Okay, let me just tell a few things. Again, I don't know. I'm not able to proceed. I get stuck. What I want to say at this point is, Prabhupada is surrounded by volunteer devotees. Volunteers, correct? The hippies who joined Prabhupada's movement, they are from rich backgrounds, many of them, wealthy backgrounds. Even if today they return to their home, the parents will welcome them with open arms and they will shower them with money and enjoyment. There are girls waiting for them, or boys waiting for them, or money waiting for them, luxury cars and yachts and everything is waiting for them. But they have just come to Prabhupada and surrendered themselves. They are not taking any pay, right? So they are volunteers in the true sense of the term. But you will see how Prabhupada is chasing them around, giving them work, piling them with work. And when they don't deliver to his satisfaction, he chastises them. And nobody retorts to Prabhupada. Say, what do you think? I'm already doing my best and I'm doing it free for you. You came from India and you are chasing me to do all this work. I am leaving my service. What is this? I am doing free and I don't see any gratitude from you. I am willingly going out in the hot sun or cold nights and I'm trying to distribute books in airports, bus stations, railway stations. And so many people are throwing the book back on my face. I am accepting all these insults for you and you are still not happy. You don't see any devotee retorting like that. Rather, the bond between Prabhupada and his disciples cannot be broken. It is so very strong. Prabhupada can shout at them. Prabhupada can insult them. Prabhupada can even beat them. Of course, I never heard Prabhupada beating them. But they would be ready. They are ready to do the impossible for Prabhupada. We heard in our previous class how Yamuna Mataji prepared a place of hot rice for Prabhupada in the running train against all odds. She did that only because Prabhupada asked. She didn't go back to say, Prabhupada, we were asking all these impossible things. Say something that I can do. Nothing like that. So here, that's what I wanted to read something about this. Prabhupada is complaining to Shyam Sundar. Now, Shyam Sundar is not in charge of book printing. He is simply Prabhupada's secretary. He has to communicate whatever Prabhupada wants to the disciples. And whatever disciples want to convey to Prabhupada, he has to convey to them. He's a messenger like that and taking care of the personal needs of Prabhupada. He's busy all day. But Prabhupada is shouting at him. See, I am going to read from them. Our business is how to expand, Prabhupada is saying. How to introduce Krishna consciousness into educational circles. Let any philosopher, scientist, or educationist come. We have got enough stock. Prabhupada is now criticizing. But the sleeping, Prabhupada is saying, this sleeping, this leisurely work will not do. Right? They can learn activity from an old man like me. Because my determination is like this. If I die working, it is a great credit. Just like a marshal, if he dies on the battlefield, it is his credit. Arjuna was told by Krishna, even if you die, you are still the gainer in the battlefield. This slow process of printing is the most condemned position. Prabhupada is literally shouting with his eyes burning like hot coal. Most condemned position. Why should I go on translating when you cannot print? You say, retire and translate. They are telling Prabhupada, Prabhupada, please retire and you translate. We will take care of management. So Prabhupada is telling, you say retire and translate. But why should I translate? No one will ever see it. I can give you volumes. There is Dai Nippon, who will print in Japan on credit. So money is there, they are printing on credit, and I am giving the books, and Dai Nippon is ready to print anytime. So why don't you print? I have given you the material. Always, it is to be done, it is to be done, that's all. And big men complaining, either he goes or I go, fighting, infighting. Prabhupada is referring to that. Instead of serving the master, you are infighting. And Prabhupada says, this restlessness, this diversion has to stop. When the father is providing, who is the father? Anyone?
Krishna.
Supreme Lord.
Hello.
No.
Supreme Lord.
No.
Here spiritual master. Here
Ah,
Srila
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
it is Prabhupada. Now let me read it for you again. When the father is providing, it is a duty of the son to serve. Now you see the relationship between devotees and Prabhupada?
Yes.
He's a loving father and they are his sons. So he's demanding when there is love. Yes. I am the father, Prabhupada is saying. I am the father. I am giving you everything. Why don't you serve me by printing these books? That is service to Prabhupada. Printing it. If one book only is read and understood, that is sufficient to make him Krishna conscious. He's talking about the lay public. Right? If one book they can read and understand, that is sufficient to make him Krishna conscious. Don't you see how important it is? Prabhupada continues, long. They are always asking me, who are they? Other disciples of Prabhupada. Are they asking me, is such and such book bona fide? They are asking. They can't even take the time to read one of my books, and still they ask for one of my god brother's books. How will things go on? First canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is not even edited or corrected. First canto Prabhupada is already printed. But Prabhupada wants it to be edited or corrected. What to speak of printed? So many books unprinted. So tell them, from the book fund, not a far thing should be for eating. Look at this. What kind of criticism? Prabhupada is saying, from the book fund, not a far thing should be for eating. Prabhupada is complaining, you are all simply eating and sleeping. So from book fund, no money should be taken. So one day, so this happened. Then one day, Advaita, the manager of ISKCON Press, called from New York. So this message has spread already, right? Prabhupada spoke to Shyam Sundar with so much feeling, message is gone everywhere. Look at the system of ISKCON, right? Prabhupada doesn't have to call everyone, right? When I was in the bank, all the time they would be calling meetings. Everybody has to come. All regional managers, all deputy general managers, all general managers, they all sit around a round table. And the chief general manager will shout, shout, shout. Everybody will be laughing inside. Nothing will happen. Somebody has shouted at him and he will shout at everybody else. And that's it. But here, Prabhupada just spoke to Shyam Sundar. He's not even in charge of book printing. But effectively, he has communicated the message. So now what's happening? The manager of ISKCON Press calls from New York with some good news very quickly. What happens? In a week, they will be sending to Dai Nippon the negatives for 5 big books. 5 big books. In just a few days, 1 week, they will be sending 5 books for printing, big books, to Dai Nippon, Japan, for printing. ISKCON Press had also sent a shipment of the German Ishopanishad to Europe. So they have already translated Ishopanishad into German and they've got it printed, and the printed books have been shipped to Europe. And other foreign language books were forthcoming. Other language, you know how many foreign language books are there in Bhagavad Gita only? Tell me, how many are there? ISKCON Bhagavad Gita in foreign languages? All languages, how many? Any guess?
1200, Prabhuji.
Languages. How many languages? It's translated. Is
Around
there-
83, Prabhu.
When I joined ISKCON, there were already 80 languages. It was practically all Indian languages and practically all European languages and Arabic languages, many Arabic languages, East European languages, the parts of USSR, all those East European languages. The languages of Islamic countries, Arab Middle East countries, Far East countries, African countries, Swahili, like that, so many languages. It's already there. I don't know what languages are left. All prominent languages of the world, even less prominent languages, Bhagavad Gita is already there. This is the dream of Prabhupada. Every nook and corner of the world, they should be able to read Bhagavad Gita in their own language, with Srila Prabhupada's purports.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it is mentioned here, it is in 59 languages, almost 60 languages.
No, you are reading a old version.
Oh, okay.
Must be a old book. Many more editions have come. So when I joined, that was in 2002, already it had crossed 80 in 2002. Now we are in 2024. Must be much more. Maybe they have run out of languages now. It is there practically available to anyone who can read and write. The book, Bhagavad Gita, is now available at anyone, any language. So, Prabhupada was pleased, and Shyam Sundar informed his GBC. Again, the message went to all GBC God brothers that now Prabhupada is happy, that something is happening. So, Prabhupada just gave one shot, and then things are happening. This is an organization which is run by love. Then an organization runs on the basis of love. That's all required. One word, one gesture with the eyebrow, one waving of the hand, enough. Everything will happen. No need for big Zoom meetings or people fly from all over the place, sit around a round table, and papers are distributed to everybody, questions are asked, answers are given, so many, and they go and nothing. That is modern world. I long back, I told one story in one of my audit meetings. I will briefly tell you here instead of, or maybe I will tell you that. You remember it and ask me some of it. Maybe when we discuss Bhagavad Gita, I can ask. The story of two kings. Right. So, Prabhupada's health was still weak. Now, Shyamsundar is saying to his god brothers, I am reading from Shyamsundar's message. Needless to say, this was just the medicine required to treat Prabhupada's slackening faith in us. Prabhupada's faith was slackening in his disciples, and this was just the medicine. Things are looking up, but still Prabhupada encourages us all to write up these reports. Reports must come daily. What book printed, what book published, what book translated, how many book distributed, and get a clear all-around picture of the total book situation. So daily reports. That is inspiring Prabhupada. So although Prabhupada's health was still weak, he felt heartened to hear that his books are being printed, and he continued with his translation and commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in this context, Ranachod Prabhu, he recalls one late night in London. He was just returning to his room, and the light was on in only one room, and that was Prabhupada's room. So he tiptoed without creating any sound so that it will disturb Prabhupada. He knows that Prabhupada wants complete silence while translating. So he tiptoed carefully, just sat outside Prabhupada's room, and he started listening. And Prabhupada is dictating into the dictaphone, the translations. That was going on. And suddenly he stopped. So Ranachodji felt, Ranachod Prabhu thought, Prabhupada, I suppose Prabhupada was thinking what to speak next into the dictaphone. So he thought like that for a moment. But then I got the feeling that Prabhupada knows I am outside, listening. I became frightened and went up the stairs as quietly as I could, although the stairs were creaking. And then he realized, Ranachod Prabhu, that when the whole world is sleeping, the whole city of London is sleeping 1 o'clock in the morning, but Prabhupada is awake and translating. He had been speaking quietly, but with a voice of great strength and determination. So Prabhupada is throughout the day, he is busy meeting people, doing other activities, management. This is the only time he gets peace and quiet for translation. Just try to fix these things into your heart. Whenever you feel disheartened in your preaching work or in your Krishna consciousness, just recollect Srila Prabhupada. Not only Prabhupada has given us the books, but he has also given us his life example of how Prabhupada worked all his life. And that is there in Prabhupada Lilamrt for all of us to see, for all times to come. So let us get inspired by not only the words of Prabhupada, but by the life of Prabhupada. Like Prabhupada says, Bhagavad Gita is the words of Krishna, spoken words. And Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. So you have to read both. So like that, we have to hear Prabhupada's lectures, Prabhupada's books. Same time, we should see how Prabhupada lived. And then in London, Prabhupada started a new book with Shyamsundar Prabhu. What is that? Shyamsundar Prabhu would speak about various Western philosophers. In essence, each Western philosopher, what was his philosophy, what was his beliefs, and what he was teaching to the world. And Prabhupada would respond, whether something is right or wrong, and he would give his own counter arguments about the strengths and weaknesses of these philosophies. So they started a book. I have that book with me. Practically every renowned philosopher of the world, they have discussed what is right and wrong, including Charles Darwin is there. Charles Darwin is there. Socrates is there. Plato is there. And who is that guy? Psychoanalysis. Freud's philosophy is there. Everything is discussed so very nicely in that book. So Shyamsundar would transcribe the morning discussions and prepare the next philosopher. Every day they would discuss one philosopher. Several hours they would discuss during the daytime. Then August 14 came, 1971. Prabhupada observed Janmashtami. And what is the day following Janmashtami? Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada appearance.
Prabhupada's appearance day, Nandotsav.
Nandotsav, and that is Prabhupada's appearance day, and that is a day of feast for all devotees. Janmashtami is fast. So devotee is more merciful than God. So on Prabhupada's birthday, we get to feast. So this was Prabhupada's 75th birthday, And they made a paperback book containing the homages of all the disciples. So you can also have a habit of keeping a diary, and every day you can write your homage to Srila Prabhupada. Even a few lines will do. How you feel, you express your heart to Srila Prabhupada. Appreciate Prabhupada and say from what condition Prabhupada has saved you and what you want from Prabhupada. You can pray. So like that you can make a daily diary. And Prabhupada always said, the grand master, spiritual master is like the grandfather. He is always more merciful than the father. Father may be strict, but grandfather is full of love only. So like that, you can write to Prabhupada. So they have all written, all the disciples of Prabhupada have written. All your disciples pray that you will remain in our presence for many years to come. And by our cooperation, they are writing. They know what Prabhupada wants. So they are writing. And by our cooperation, you will be able to spend time writing volumes of Bhagavatam. They are saying exactly what Prabhupada would like to hear. So what they are saying, we will all cooperate towards giving you time to translate Bhagavatam while we carry on the program and mission of your Guru Maharaj. So nicely they have written, right? There are other things I'm just reading selectively from here. So they say we celebrate your mission in this mood. We are all your intimate children. We gather at your feet to tell you our feelings, like that. Very amazingly they have written. So, but Prabhupada's ill health continued, and Prabhupada says he was sick for 4 or 5 days. Now he is feeling better, but the disease is prolonging in a different way, Prabhupada is saying. How it is prolonging? I cannot sleep at night. More than 2 hours, Prabhupada is saying. Actually, Prabhupada is never sleeping more than 2 hours. Prabhupada is saying, I cannot sleep at night more than 2 hours. And during the daytime also, I am feeling some dizziness. Otherwise, everything is all right. I am chanting Hare Krishna as usual and writing my books regularly, right? So whatever disturbance, rain or high tide, whatever, the work has to go on, right? So like that. So Shyam Sundar, now listen very carefully. A sudden midnight crisis. Shyam Sundar says, Aravinda, you know the Aravinda is another assistant. And I were sleeping right outside Prabhupada's room. Just see these people, how they are dedicated to their spiritual master. Prabhupada is in the room and they are outside the room, possibly on the veranda side, and they are sleeping on some bench or something outside Prabhupada's room. I was on a lower bunk bed. They have put a bunk bed, upper deck or lower deck. So Shyam Sundar is on the lower bunk bed and upper bunk bed, Aravinda. Suddenly he heard in the middle of the night, Shyama Sundara, the voice of Guru Maharaj. It was really urgent sound, feeble sound, but urgent sound. Shyama Sundara, like that. And I woke up so hard, Guru calling, the sleeping man wakes up. And he woke up so hard that he hit his head. Shyam Sundar is a very tall person. Kali Kumar Ghosh Prabhu saw Malati Mataji. She is a tall person. Now she's slightly crouching because of age. She's very tall. And Shyam Sundar is much taller, maybe 6 feet, 4, 5 inches tall. So he got up and hit his bed on the bunk bed. And then he ran into Prabhupada's room. See the mood of service. Man, as I was opening the door, he collapsed in the doorway. Shyam Sundar is opening the door to go inside, and Prabhupada is standing right there. And he's in front of Shyam Sundar, he collapses. I caught him. Shyam Sundar caught him. He felt so light, as though he's passing away. Like a little doll. That was how heavy he was, like a little doll. And his face was grey. The blood has drained. Face was grey. I took him over to his bed and thought, oh my God, what's going on? With this thought, he took him to the bed. He was shivering. Prabhupada was shivering. I turned the electric heater way up and turned it full, and put it next to his bed. I covered him with a lot of blankets. So whatever to keep him warm, he's shivering. So he covered him and waited. He was just still. His eyes were closed. So he's covered with so many blankets. heater is fully on, no movement from him. And just before that, he had collapsed. The collapsed form of Prabhupada only has been carried to the bed. Now we don't know. There is no movement. Finally, he said, Shyamsundara, go get me some black pepper. After saying Shyamsundar some time ago, Prabhupada is speaking now only and saying, go get me some black pepper. Prabhupada described how to make a black pepper paste. Rub it on my forehead, he said. So I ran down to the kitchen and prepared it and came up all in the middle of the night. Came up and put it on his head. I asked him, what's wrong? I don't believe he made a response. He has applied the paste and now he is asking Prabhupada, what's wrong? I don't believe he made a response. He closed his eyes and appeared to be asleep. Right? I slept there by him on the floor. Prabhupada is on the bed. So Shyamsundar doesn't want to go out, leaving him. He's sleeping on the floor next to him for a while. At some point in the night, Prabhupada said, you may go back to your room. I will be all right. Okay. So he stayed in bed following day, morning, until about 8 or 9 o'clock the next morning. Prabhupada was in bed till 8 or 9 o'clock. And then he was just completely well. Nothing had happened. His spirit was so strong that although he had encountered devastating blows to his body, he had come right out of it, right? This is the umpteenth time Prabhupada is becoming very sick, right? And he came right out of it. There was a time when Kirtanananda was there by his side. At the time, Shyamsundar had not even seen him. But then now Shyamsundar is seeing right in front of his eyes. He had made a full recovery from what must have been something close to death, right? Prabhupada was almost close to death, but he recovered, right? So this is what happened. So I have read that 254.5. Then one day, while meeting with an Indian man, R.B. Pandya, a lot of Pandyas are there in Africa actually, because when I was in London, I have seen so many of them. Pandya, like that. They are all Gujarati people settled in Africa. Many Gujaratis settled in Africa. Like Sikhs are settled mainly in Canada and USA. You'll find a lot of Africans in mainly Africa, the colonies of Britain. So when these colonies became free, many of these African Indian people, basically Indian people who have gone to Africa, they migrated to the British colonies of Europe and in UK itself. That's why in UK you have a lot of Gujaratis. If you go to Queensbury area, you'll find a lot of Gujaratis there. And they have all basically from Africa. They had gone from India to Africa on business and they have migrated. So this Pandya is living in Mombasa, East Africa. And Prabhupada told him about his illness. Then Pandya immediately said, I have a house on the beach of Mombasa, where it is always sunny and warm, with pleasant sea breeze. Perfect place for recuperation. And Pandya invited Prabhupada to go and live as long as he liked. Not only for health, Prabhupada began to think of going to Africa. Not for only this recuperation, but for preaching. It's an unexplored continent, right? Prabhupada wants to do. 3 months ago, he had sent Brahmananda Swami and Jagannivasa to East Africa. Do you remember Brahmananda Swami? Anyone who has been with me from the beginning? Do you recollect Brahmananda Swami?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, was he in India, Prabhuji, when Prabhupada came? I vaguely remember.
He came later on, but not at that time. Brahmananda Swami was the temple president of New York when Prabhupada came to India. And it was Brahmananda Swami and his brother Gargamuni, his younger brother. They took care of Prabhupada when Prabhupada had his heart attack and he was admitted in the hospital. And the doctors refused to allow him to go. They said, this old man will die. But still they took there is Brahmananda and Gargamuni. They simply ran out of the hospital with Prabhupada. They pushed the wheel cart and they took Prabhupada away. Brahmananda Swami had a job in America, in New York, and he was also staying in the temple. And he asked Prabhupada, I want to leave my job and I want to stay full time in the temple. Prabhupada said, no, don't do that. I need your money. So you continue to earn. Early days of ISKCON. And he continued to work. And the paycheck, he will come and give it to Prabhupada. So he gave the paycheck to Prabhupada. And then one time he asked Prabhupada, can I have your Bhagavatam set? I want very much to read those books. Prabhupada said, $12. His paycheck has been given to Prabhupada. And every day to travel to office, he would take the bus fare from Prabhupada. Prabhupada will not give for taxi, bus fare. Then Prabhupada gave him his Bhagavatam set. So Brahmananda surrendered like a child to Prabhupada. He's like that. Very big body. If anyone insults Prabhupada, he would be ready with his fist. Even though he was a sannyasi, Brahmananda Swami and Jagannivasa, they had been sent to East Africa. So a visit to East Africa by Prabhupada would encourage them because they are doing it alone in a new continent, in a new culture. They are white people and trying to preach in Africa. So Prabhupada wanted to go. Is to encourage them as well as enable Prabhupada to work at expanding Krishna conscious movement on the African continent personally, like that. So Prabhupada sent Bhavananda, he sent 2 more people. Bhavananda, he was the temple president in New York. So see how Prabhupada is shuffling people. Huh? When Prabhupada came to New York this time, he was the temple president of Bhavananda. But Prabhupada is sending him, now go to Africa. We look after the temple, no problem. Why? Prabhupada's mission is run by love. So next time you remind me the story of 2 kings, I will tell you in another class. And Naranarayana from London to Mombasa to see if Prabhupada can stay in Pandya's house. Okay. Then Bhavananda Naranarayana went. Brahmananda Swami was very happy to see some reinforcement has come. And he was delighted to know Prabhupada is coming soon. Now, to know something more about Brahmananda. Brahmananda Swami had been preaching in Florida, right, previously. And Prabhupada had written to him to go to Pakistan. This is 1971. The man preaching in Florida, Prabhupada says, go to Pakistan. Letter. Only a letter. Immediately he had gone without thinking. Pakistan is an Islamic country, hostile to India, and he is a white man. Never thought he went. Along with the same Jagannivasa. He flew to Paris from Florida, and then he took the Orient Express train through Eastern Europe, through the Russian USSR. On hearing, then Prabhupada came to know the war fever is building up in Pakistan, right? Already problem in Bangladesh, the East Pakistan, and the war is very likely with India because so many refugees had crossed over to India, and Indira Gandhi was saying we may have to have a war. And as it is, Pakistan-India relationship is not good. So when Prabhupada came to know, Prabhupada sent a second letter to Florida, to Brahmananda Swami, without knowing he has already left, advising him, don't go to Pakistan. But that letter did not reach Brahmananda, already he had gone. On the way to Pakistan, he held public kirtan in Turkey. Anyone knows what is the religion of Turkey? Anyone knows? Where is this country? And
Prabhuji, Muslim?
yeah, it is almost Muslim Christian, like, the Middle Ages, how they were fighting crusades and all. Muslims, Christians, they would all be fighting like that. And Turkey was that, the hot spot of this fighting, Christian and Muslims. Now it is ruled by a Muslim, Erdogan. So like that, it's a great power, big mosques. And Turkey was Constantinople, the original, the great city of the Middle Ages. So, and he is doing public kirtan in Turkey. Brahmananda and Jagannivas, they were arrested. 2 people in the middle of Islamic Christian nation. They were arrested. And they were detained for several days on suspicion of being Christian missionaries. They suspected they could be Christian missionaries. So that time also the government was Muslim. They arrested. Finally, they were released and Brahmananda arrived in Pakistan. And what happened to them in Pakistan? Just imagine that you are devotees of Srila Prabhupada, right? Imagine these things happen to you. You had a nice job, you had a good salary, you were leading a comfortable, peaceful life in New York, the capital of the economic capital of the whole world. And what happens to Brahmananda? Students had spit at them. They go to university for preaching. The students spit on them directly. And then they accused them of being spy, threatened them, and called them names. Several times, people on the street had rubbed the Vaishnava tilak off the devotees' foreheads and warned them not to show themselves in public or they would be stabbed. Local Hindus had warned the devotees to leave as soon as possible. Local Hindus in Pakistan, they are so worried about them. They know what they are going through. So they told them, leave as soon as possible. And so reluctantly, they decided to go to Bombay to see Prabhupada. Meanwhile, in Bombay, Prabhupada had read in an Indian newspaper that Pakistani soldiers in Dhaka, this is East Pakistan, had killed 4 Hare Krishna missionaries. See, it's going on for a long time. Even in 1971, some Hare Krishna preachers have been killed in Dhaka by Pakistani soldiers. Now, I don't know whether you have seen this video. Tulsi Gabbard. Has anyone heard of Tulsi Gabbard? Any of you? You follow politics?
Yes, Prabhuji. It was in the headlines that it came as a WhatsApp video also that she
She's
has.
she's
Correct.
a devotee.
Not an Indian by birth, but
No. She's a Samoan,
yeah,
Yeah.
she's not an Indian by birth.
not an
But,
Indian.
yeah,
But her
Christian.
parents are Prabhupada devotees.
Yeah, so she has become ardent devotee of Krishna and she follows ISKCON.
She has
completely
become the
seven.
national security advisor to
Yeah.
the cabinet.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And she says in 1971, millions of Hindus were butchered by Pakistani soldiers in Dhaka, in East Pakistan.
Yes, sir.
Million. And Indian population, which used to be more than 33%, has come down to barely 2% or 3% now. That's what has happened. Simply directly butchering. Women were raped, houses were burnt, temples were razed, like that. So this is what they were doing. So no wonder. So Prabhupada became very much anxious to know about Brahmananda. Prabhupada had written, the day has been full of anxiety with this bad news, and still it is going on. When Srila Prabhupada had heard that Brahmananda Swami had actually arrived in Bombay, he had asked him to see at once. Like a father recovering his lost child, Prabhupada had embraced him. Actually, Prabhupada is so small. Brahmananda is huge, imagine. Huge, tall, well-built, big body, really big. Embraced him. Prabhupada cannot even put his arms around the body of Brahmananda. Prabhupada said, you risked your life just on my order. Huh? Prabhupada had said. After some days, Prabhupada had told Brahmananda Swami, you should go to Africa. If you go, then we will be on all the continents. Only one continent left, the so-called dark continent, Africa. Prabhupada is sending Brahmananda, just fresh from Pakistan, off to. And same way Prabhupada sent His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj to China, just like that, casually. Now, after preaching in Africa, Brahmananda Swami eagerly awaited the visit of his beloved spiritual master in Africa. So next week we'll see Nairobi, how the preaching starts in Nairobi. Prabhupada reaches, not Nairobi, actually Prabhupada goes to Nairobi first, and from there he goes to Mombasa. And in Nairobi, Prabhupada meets a journalist and a friend of Brahmananda Swami. This journalist is an Indian, Kulbhushan journalist. And Prabhupada, they are meeting. And Kulbhushan is asking questions. What you have come to preach here? Kulbhushan. Prabhupada says, modern civilized man has forgotten his relationship with Krishna or God and is therefore suffering. That's modern man is suffering by forgetting relationship with God. Whether you are Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, doesn't matter. Unless you re-establish your relationship with God, you cannot be happy. Then Bhushan asks, again, the journalist, have you come only for Hindus? No, Prabhupada replied, for everyone. Mr. Bhushan says, East Africa, especially Kenya, is one of those countries which enjoys great amount of racial harmony in brotherhood of man. Actually, around that time, in places like Nigeria and Uganda, a lot of problem happened, and Indians were chased out because Indians were very successful businessmen in those countries. And there were coup, and they kicked them out, and they all ran. But Kenya was one peaceful country. And Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta, he was a close friend of the Indian Prime Minister, I think at the time, maybe Jawaharlal Nehru, Suharto in Indonesia, and they were friends. And they started this Panchashil and all those things. So Kenya was a very favorable country. So he said, what is your special message to Kenya? Prabhupada said, that brotherhood of man can be complete when they are in God consciousness. How? Can anyone explain how brotherhood becomes complete in God consciousness?
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams. All are children of Krishna, so then only they become brothers. That consciousness will make them.
Otherwise, we are using the word brotherhood in empty space. It has no meaning, just words, meaningless words, that we are all brothers. How there could be brother?
Without knowing each other, we consider ourselves as one family, Prabhuji, in ISKCON.
Yes, we should know that we are all spirit souls. Whether you are a devotee or a non-devotee, whether you are an animal or a bird or a plant, we are all brothers. Every living entity, we are all brothers. Why? Because Krishna is our father. Aham bija pratapita. Tasam brahma mahat yoni aham bija pratapita. Brahma mahat yoni. The whole material creation is a womb. And Krishna is a seed-giving father. The material energy is the womb. And Krishna is a seed-giving father. And we are all brothers. The dress we are wearing may be the dress of a man or dress of a woman. The body, I mean. It's not significant. The soul, we are all kins like that. So Prabhupada says, only then. Otherwise, it will again break. The brotherhood of man will break. Now we see Christians kill Christians, Muslims kill Muslims, and Muslims kill Christians also. Irrespective. Within the same religion also, they kill each other. So many bombs are exploding in Pakistan every day, or in Afghanistan. They are all Muslims only. So they are killing each other. In the mosque, they attack with bombs. What to say? So where is brotherhood? Even within the same religion, brotherhood is not. So Bhushan says, so your disciples will be making special efforts to reach the Africans rather than confine themselves to the Hindus. That is very important here in this country, Bhushan says. Prabhupada says, so he's asking special efforts, right? Prabhupada is answering. Mark these words. Bhushan is asking, what special effort you will make for Africa? Srila Prabhupada says, our method is the same. If your method is different, then there is something wrong, right? Prabhupada is saying, our method is the same. But the method is so powerful that it appeals to everyone, right? So Prabhupada will tweak only on the presentation, but the essence will remain the same. There's no change. It works. We do not have to convey a new method for a new place, Prabhupada says. No. I have gone to all the continents. Only Africa I am coming now. But all the continents, no different method, same method. The method is the same, universal. It will appeal to everyone. Okay? So now, from Nairobi, Prabhupada go to Mombasa. That story we will speak about it in our next meeting. Thank you very much for joining. Are there any comments or questions that you want to ask? Hare Krishna. So if there are no questions, we will wind up for the day. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo
The court
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Satsvarupadas Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
was given this amazing book to us from which we are talking. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, can we
Prabhuji.
add one Mataji Prabhuji who has
Yeah, I
joined
am
today?
just now seeing the message. Yeah, please do. Please do.
Rohini Mataji. We
Yeah,
just want.
Yeah, sure.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, since we are discussing Srila Prabhupada Lilamrt, I thought I will let you know, Prabhuji. Last week, by coincidence, like I keep telling my father, whatever is the congregation that is happening in West Mambalam, since he is retired now, and he was not keeping very well. He was to undergo a surgery for his knee pain and all that. So to distract him and keep him well engaged, I thought I will send him to all the congregations in and around West Mambalam. And by my good fortune and good luck, he accepted to go. And 2-3 Bhagavad Gita classes he attended. And in one of the Bhagavad Gita classes, he got referred to go to a lecture by Sankarshan Das Maharaj, Adhikari Maharaj lecture, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
And it was on Srila Prabhupada, and you were translating it in Tamil, and Nityanand Prabhuji was also there. And he was telling me his experience, Prabhuji, that I didn't understand much. It was boring and all. I
He
said,
doesn't follow English.
he follows Prabhuji, but Maharaj's English was having a very heavy accent, Prabhuji. Yeah, and anyone who, for a common man, Prabhuji, to understand the deep importance of
You mean
Srila Prabhupada.
Sankarshan Das Adhikari's class that was in T Nagar?
Yes, Prabhuji, he had come there.
Okay. Oh
So
my
he was
God,
telling
I
me
was
that,
struggling to translate because he was stopping only.
yes. I saw that class. I saw that class in the video, Prabhuji, in Bhakti Vriksha channel, because Nityanand Prabhu had put it. So I was telling him, it's okay, Appa, even if you didn't understand, you got Sukriti of great people. And I was trying to tell him, Prabhuji, and I just wanted to know, Prabhuji, will this give him Sukriti, Prabhuji? Will this give him good association and
100%. And let me add
Yes,
that
Prabhuji.
if he did not have Sukriti, he would not have come to that meeting.
Yeah, yes,
He
Prabhuji.
already had Sukriti, and this meeting would have added Sukriti to him. Absolutely.
Yes. And we have got an opportunity to go to Vrindavan, Prabhuji, in February next from ICF group. So seeking your blessings that we have a good darshan, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you so
I'm
much.
happy you are going with your whole family.
Yes, Prabhuji, but unfortunately, kids and husband cannot join because my elder one's practical exam has come up during that month. So they are unsure of the dates. So they had to pull back. So only myself, my father and mother are going to give me company. So only 3 of us are going, Prabhuji.
Yeah. You can always pray for them. They are sending you, they are allowing you to go. So
Yes,
they will
Prabhuji.
definitely get Sukriti.
Yes, Prabhuji. That's what
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
That day, Sankarshan Das Maharaj was telling that he was sick in the morning, and he was in bed.
Oh.
But Prabhupada's instruction to him is that he should preach. So he came all the way from the temples, 25 kilometers away, to this program to preach. He gave class. He totally forgot his health condition. He gave a nice class, but then he did not take any prasadam. He left, and he was supposed to go from there to Perambur temple to give another class. But for some reason, the class was cancelled. Maybe considering it's
very frail also, no, Prabhuji?
Yeah. He's 77.
Very frail and very thin.
He's 77
He
years.
is direct disciple of Prabhupada, isn't it, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
he was there when Prabhupada was alive.
Yeah, he was sharing that also. How he met Prabhupada, how Prabhupada gave him initiation.
That was all very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Pranam.
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.